Bring you Cherry Creek Grandview, and from inside the broadcast booth, hey everybody, I'm William McDavid alongside Reagan Kanabe. And Reagan, I think we're both very excited to be here today as Creek takes on their biggest league rival.
We definitely are, Will. There's a few things we're going to be watching out for during this Creek Grandview game, so we are going to hop right into our pregame show and take a look at last week's game against the Arapahoe Warriors. The Bruins beat Arapahoe 42-7, picking up 331 rushing yards and 167 passing yards. We continue to see this imbalance of rushing and passing, with most of the offensive plays run through running backs Jordan Herron and Bubba Tan. Herron and Tan both picked up another 100-plus yard game, with Herron averaging 15 yards per carry last week.
We take a look at the Grandview Wolves, led by head coach Tom Doherty. And Reagan, one of the reasons why this matchup is so highly anticipated, especially in the past 2 years, is because Coach Doherty was the Bruins defensive coordinator for 9 years before joining Grandview's coaching staff in 2021. Grandview is on a 2-game winning streak after beating Smoky Hill 42-20 in Week 8 and Cherokee Trail 28-0 in Week 9. Creek beat Grandview 21-13 last season, which was the Bruins' closest win last season. Junior quarterback Leon Cesarka is returning for Grandview this season, and one interesting thing about him from a stats perspective is how many rushing yards he picks up per game. Cesarka has 420 rushing yards on the season, averaging 47 yards per game, almost half of the 109 yards that Grandview's starting running back Donovan Vernon currently.
Kicker to start tonight against Grandview. Starter Thomas Gagline exited Week 2 against St. Edward in Ohio with a broken fibula and tibia after getting hit on a punt. Backup kicker Ben Starr tore his ACL playing quarterback in a junior varsity game, ending his season. That led us to last week's game against Arapahoe, where third-string kicker Maxis Ortega went out in the first half during a tackle attempt on the kickoff. That does mean the Bruins will start senior fourth-string kicker Caden Brown tonight.
One more thing to mention, Reagan, is it is senior night tonight, so for those watching at home, stay tuned for some senior shout-outs throughout the night. It's going to be a great night as number 1 Cherry Creek gets set to host the number 8 Grandview Wolves right here in the Stutler Bowl. It's a 7 p.m. start time. Thanks for being with us. Live coverage continues shortly. We'll see you right back here on CCSN. And back inside the broadcast booth, hey everybody, it's William McDavid, and we have Kyer Johnson on the opening kickoff. He has some room and gets out to almost the 40-yard line. And as we mentioned, after some of the other starting kickers have had injuries, but he nails that one, and the Bruins go up 7-0 with 11:43 remaining in the first quarter. And Reagan, I would call that
chance to run, and that's one thing Cesarka has been doing for the Wolves a lot so far this season. As we mentioned, he already has 420 rushing yards just alone on the season. So I am really interested to see, Will, how Creek's defense is going to defend against that, and how maybe Grandview's offense will have to adapt if Creek's defense can get a good read on the quarterback.
So the Bruins will kick it off here for the first time in the first quarter, and looks like we're going to have 2 deep back for the Wolves. And Brown had been doing kickoffs for Maxis Ortega, but that one is going to sail out of bounds, and that will be a kickoff infraction, and the Wolves will start as a lot of athleticism, and this is a high-powered offense, so definitely want to make sure that the Bruins can contain Cesarka. He will come out in the shotgun, and he's going to hand it off. Purchase gets into the backfield, and Purchase able to swallow up the running back.
Faces out here for the Wolves. Obviously, it's the end of the regular season, so they have had time to settle in. So I'm interested to see how these receivers do tonight.
And 3 receivers out to Cesarca's left. And he's going to drop back to pass. And Cesarca will be in the shotgun. Clearly, the Wolves are not afraid to let him run the ball. He's going to drop back and pass here. And pressure again from the Bruins defensive line. And it looks like Cesarca is going to get out to the left side, and he will get enough for the first. Hand it off up the middle, and that'll be a gain for the Wolves. They're going to hand it off up the middle. And Vernon, and as we mentioned in the pregame show, he is averaging 109 yards per game, Reagan, which is very impressive. I believe.
Bruins 13-yard line. The Wolves are going to get set here again. It's 2nd down and 7. He has Vernon out to his side again. He's going to hand it off to him. He's going to go up the middle. Looks to about the 10-yard line. Cesarca's going to drop back to pass, and he's
There we go. And hello everyone, we apologize. We know that there were lots of technical difficulties. The screen may have cut out there for a second. Wolves have just scored their first touchdown of the game, and they have kicked it off. Now Kyer Johnson will take this one, and he has room on the right side. Nice block there by Jaden Fox. And Johnson able to get out to past the 50-yard line, still on his feet fighting, and he will get to. Thank you, Reagan, appreciate it. There were definitely some issues. Hank Zelinskis a little
to start Vodeka, and he has
off to Heron on the near sideline. Heron will be dragged down just by his toes after a gain of about 7 or 8 on the play. And being the center, you got to.
I'm not surprised at all that he took it in the first quarter here. I don't know if we're going to see any waiting until the second quarter. Maybe ever again from Coach Logan in this season at least.
And one of the things about the Wolves is just that we know that there is going to be a big rivalry here between these two teams, and that was just exacerbated by the moving of Coach Doherty to Grandview to become their head coach. But these two teams have always kind of gone at each other, so this is definitely an exciting matchup, and we see it so far here in the first quarter. This is probably the closest it's ever been, with over halfway through the first quarter for the Bruins so far this season. So definitely an exciting matchup, and we'll see how this third down pans out. Heron is going to take that one, and he will be tackled after looks like no gain on the play, and his helmet kind of got, it looks like he got ripped off on that play.
It did, and it looked like he stepped to his left and was trying to go down an open lane on his right, and he just wasn't able to get out there fast enough. He had his foot almost halfway in that stride before he got tackled by that Grandview defender. So that one wasn't entirely a successful run right there, but I could definitely see where he was about to go with that one.
So because Heron's helmet got ripped off, Tan had to come in the game, and it'll be 4th down and 4 here for the Bruins. They're going to go to Tan on the left side. Tan has blockers in front of him. He will fight for the first, and based off the original marking, it looks like he is going to be short, and he is short. So that will go to the Grandview Wolves. Turnover on downs, and a very impressive stand there for the Grandview defense.
And, Will, usually when we do go for it on 4th down, we don't turn the ball over, so that is an interesting thing to see. I don't know how many times we have turned the ball over on 4th down this season, but it's not a high number. So Grandview doesn't have great field position here, but they definitely do have some momentum coming off of that. You can kind of see their sideline really pumped up about that. So I think they're going to come out on this one hot, and we'll see what this defense is able to do to take care of quarterback Cesarca, who has proven so far that he is good at running the ball.
Yeah, for sure, Reagan. And one of the things we've seen this year is just if you can keep a quarterback contained, then you're going to have a lot of success. Patrides with a nice hit there on number 8, and that was Davion Henderson, the wide receiver senior for the Wolves. And nice job there by Patrides to make the hit and stop the Wolves after the 5-yard gain.
And one thing, Will, that I will say about these Cherry Creek defenders is I don't think I've ever met a teenager with more energy than it seems all of these defenders have. So that their ability to just kind of spring out at these guys is so important, and they are so energized down there on the field and just ready to make these tackles.
And Cesarca is going to bring one in motion. And he is going to hand this one off, and swallowed is the running back by multiple Bruins players. I believe Purchase was the final one to make the tackle, but I think that might have been Easy Rice who got there first, and he seemed to go through that line untouched to disrupt the play, and that was a huge loss on the play, setting up 3rd down and 13 here for the Wolves from their own 19-yard line.
And, Will, it might be a little bit too soon to make this prediction, but I think what we're going to see a lot of tonight is just these really quick momentum shifts. We saw that stop on 4th down by the Wolves, and then these nice plays by the defense here. So it's definitely going to be, I think, a really close-fought battle tonight.
And it looks like they have the quarterback option, and a couple Bruins defenders were able to get a hit on Cesarca, and eventually a sleuth of Bruins will bring him down just before the original line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 4th down and 10, and it looks like the Wolves are leaving their offense out there on the field. Given Cesarca's wide range of talents, though, Reagan, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to punt it. We've seen that before, and it looks like they are going to switch on the punt team kind of last second.
That's definitely an interesting decision by Grandview. Here comes the punt from Cesarca, going to go out towards Kyer Johnson, and that's going to come out at about the 38-yard line. So that was definitely something interesting that we just saw from Grandview. We just have a flag thrown down here around the 20-yard line. Will, what do you make of that play call by Grandview right there?
Yeah, Reagan, I think that one of the things they try to do is just catch the Bruins off guard. Their goal is to not allow the Bruins to get a punt returner on and their normal punting crew on, given how fast the Wolves are able to get off the field and get their punting unit on. So it definitely catches the Bruins off guard. However, I do recall from last season that the Bruins knew that and were preparing for it. So something that they probably were preparing for this year as well. But I'd say that overall, that wasn't too harmful for the Bruins, given that they will still get the ball in pretty decent field position after the punt.
And that's one thing that I personally just really appreciate about sports is this ability to bring strategy into the game. And you kind of see it on these trick plays. We haven't seen as many of them this season, but I know that Coach Logan likes to draw them up. So I'm sure we've got some hiding around here somewhere in the playbook. But I would say that is one thing that Doherty probably does especially well is he knows this Creek team, and he kind of knows how they operate. And so he is able to do these things to catch the Bruins off balance. And I think we are going to see more of that as this game progresses.
And after the penalty, the Bruins will get moved back to just about the 25-yard line. And that is where they will start drive number 3 of the night. And it looks like in at running back, we are going to have Ariane Boyd. And we haven't seen him yet so far tonight, but another pivotal running back who the Bruins have just returned after he had some injury. And it looks like Vidika is going to take the designated quarterback sneak. He will get about 3 yards on the play until being brought down by a Wolves player. And nice job there. I think one of the things that's unique about Vidika, as opposed to some of these other Bruin quarterbacks that we've seen this season, is just how well he can move on his feet. And we've seen that he isn't afraid to run the ball. And, you know, standing at, I believe, just about 6'1", he's a big kid, and he's able to move and stick a hit to the defender. He is going to send Rodriguez in motion and is going to hand this one off to Boyd. Boyd is going to cut it upfield, and he will get almost enough for a first down, making it about 3rd down and 1 coming up.
And we saw Grandview's Coach Doherty down there yelling and pointing at his players, maybe some confusion or miscommunication as he tried to get them situated for that play. I'm not sure entirely what happened there, but it seems like there was something on the Grandview defense that wasn't exactly how Coach Doherty liked. And you know, he did previously come from the Bruins as their defensive coordinator, so defense is important to him, and I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but something that he didn't like.
Yeah, and I think it was clear on the play that something about the defense didn't go quite as they were hoping. Looks like we are going to get, that might be Blake Purchase in on the offensive end. He will stick a block, and Dan able to spin off another defender and gain more than enough for the first down. And it looks like with that, we are going to maybe clock out to the end of the first quarter. And, you know, that was an exciting first quarter, probably the most exciting we've seen here for the Bruins this season, except maybe minus in St. Edwards, Ohio. But very exciting quarter. We are going to send it down to sideline reporter Ella Davis. Ella, give us your thoughts on that quarter.
It's been a super interesting quarter, you guys. I know all the boys are super fired up because it's senior night. There's up to 30 seniors on this team, and I know they just really lead this offensive and defensive team as well. It has been super interesting, both really good drives. Bubba Tan had a great drive down and scored. He is also a senior, and I know all of them are just super excited to be here. They are such a family, and it just really connected all together. I think it's going to be a great rest of the second quarter and game. Everyone is out here tonight in Hawaiian outfits, and I think that it's just going to be super fun. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Ella. And she's right. This is a great team, and to have 30 seniors on your team is pretty impressive. Obviously, it's a big program, but you know that's a lot of seniors. And we saw the ceremony before the game here, and that line of seniors wrapped around the field quite a ways, so it's pretty fun. It creates a fun culture, and these guys have been playing with each other for a long time, so it's pretty fun to watch.
It definitely is. Well, and I think one thing, even though every year it seems we do have so many seniors on the team that we're worried about graduating, it seems that the Bruins don't take a break and try to reload. They just recharge, and they just keep getting all these new seniors out here. So I think every year we just have all these new seniors to celebrate, and it just speaks to the depth of the Bruins program for sure.
And on first down there for the first play of the second quarter, Vidika will have about a no-yard gain there after the designated quarterback run. And that's the second time we've seen a play call that is supposed to go to Vidika as the primary runner. And definitely interesting. We haven't seen that a ton from Coach Logan in the past. Probably the last example is with Julian Hammond. Rodriguez out on the far sideline, and he's going to get enough for the first down. And nice job there for Vidika selling the boot action and getting it out to Rodriguez on that far sideline. So that'll be enough for the Bruins' first down, and they are now in Wolves territory. And one person we are seeing back here on the field today is Ishmael Sisi, and he was out for the last 2 weeks, I believe, Reagan,
yes,
with some injury, which we never really got a full idea on what it was. We believe it was something in the lower leg. Vidika able to draw the Wolves off sides there. It looked like they were trying to get a safety blitz going on, and nice job there for Vidika. And that hard count is going to be pivotal in the rest of this game.
We saw number 11 out there at the line of scrimmage. I don't know, it looked like he was going to go jump, and then he kind of stumbled almost and came back down, and he was pretty upset after that flag thrown out. So you could tell that he was obviously not trying to do that, and it did not work out in his favor in that case.
And Vidika is going to run the play action. He'll fire one deep. It looks like that's Cooper Pollard. Pollard not quite able to get there as the defender was out in front of him. And Vidika, that was the first big shot we've seen from him tonight. You know, I can appreciate the confidence he has in his receivers, though.
I was just about to mention we don't normally see those long passes from Vidika, and one thing we have been seeing recently actually is really long runs from our running back. So it is always nice to see that he does have that big arm that can get the ball out there, and I hope he finds one of his receivers tonight, especially with CC back after being out.
And now it will bring up 2nd down and 5 on the play for the Bruins. 3 receivers down on the lower side of your screen. Vidika is going to run it once more, and he will get hit, but is able to drag forward for about 4 yards, putting him just short of the 1st down marker.
And I think another thing we could say too about Grandview's defense compared to Creek's offense is just the size difference out here. It seems that with most teams that Creek stacks up against, except for maybe the St. Edward's kids in Ohio, they do seem to be physically bigger than all of them, and that has definitely helped out so much.
For sure, Reagan. And we are seeing Blake Purchase out here on offense for the 2nd time tonight. He will come in motion with Jake Howell, and this is a little bit of their Rhino package as Tan will push forward, and he will have enough for the 1st down. And Reagan, we saw that package with Blake Purchase a little bit last year during the playoffs, and clearly the Bruins are wanting to debut this before playoffs so that they can get a feel for it. But, you know, I love it, especially in these short yardage situations. That's a big play to be able to make.
Especially with such a versatile player like Blake Purchase. And I think one thing we always do really see towards the end of the season, and like you said, the beginning of playoffs, is these big defensive players coming over onto offense and helping out, and I think that just kind of increases everyone's confidence down there that we can get those 1st downs.
Yes, and I remember that when Blake Purchase's older brother, Miles Purchase, played in the state championship game, he did a lot of running back action as well, and I believe he had 2 rushing touchdowns maybe during that state championship game. So definitely, you know, we're seeing athletes here, and we see that a lot at Creek for this program. Coach Logan just likes to have athletes on his team, and we've seen that guys flipping sides of the ball. Even last year, just with Christian Hammond switching from defensive back to quarterback, and then switching back a couple times. Senior Marte Russell, he is another one of our seniors here tonight, and he's done a fantastic job playing linebacker this season after having some injuries in his first couple years. He unfortunately did get injured this season as well with an ankle injury, but you know, he's a great player, great team guy, and you always see him out here supporting his teammates, and it's a lot of fun to, you know, just see him continue making an impact on the team. Vidika is going to set up the screen for Heron. Heron's going to have space, and he will cut back right and will get just past the 20-yard line, putting the Bruins inside the red zone, and more than enough for the 1st down.
And that's a nice play there by Vidika and Heron, just being able to connect for that play that didn't go entirely as how they were anticipating, but able to make a good situation out of it and pick up that 1st down. There's more versatility from Heron you could see out there, being able to turn around and grab that pass and then being shifty enough to take that one upfield for the 1st down.
And nice patience there on that screen by Vidika to wait for Heron to get open and then hitting him on that pass. And Vidika will fire it over the middle to Johnson, and Johnson will have about a 3-yard gain on the play, as he is brought down immediately upon the catch. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 7 here with just about 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Vidika is going to drop back, and he will fire this one out to Cece on the far sideline, and what a catch by Ishmael Cece. And somehow he was able to stay in bounds, and Reagan, we've seen a couple of those amazing catches so far this season by Cece.
Yeah, we have, and that he had such great body control, able to get his toes down in bounds before he steps out, obviously, and he is such a high impact player. We just saw recently that he got an offer from Stanford, which is certainly impressive. That's an impressive one for sure. And he has a few offers from California schools, and we've heard some people talking about him maybe wanting to be a part of a fashion program, which would maybe put him out there on the West Coast. So I am interested to see, where he eventually decides to go to school.
Once more, Rhino package with Blake Purchase, and they are going to give it to Boyd. Boyd is trying to fight forward. He is not going to be in for the touchdown, but he will be stopped at just about the 2 or 3 yard line. And it looks like they are going to leave Purchase and Howell on the field. And in some of these short yardage situations, that's a big asset to be able to use. Oh, and they are going to take him off, send some receivers on. And as the Grandview defense, I'd be taking a look at this and thinking, I wonder what they're going to do now. So it will bring up 2nd down and 4 from the 4 yard line. Vidika brings Rodriguez and then Johnson in motion, and he will hand it off to Boyd. Boyd in for the touchdown! And Ariane Boyd with the beautiful 4 yard run to give the Bruins the lead here about halfway through the second quarter. And that was a great drive there for the Bruins. Just slow, methodical. They weren't trying to rush anything. They just kept chipping away, and really impressive job there for the Bruins as they punch in another 6, and Brown is going to look to make it 7 for the Bruins, and his PAT is up and good. So the Bruins will take the 14-7 lead with 7:56 remaining in this first half. And Reagan, I think that's what the Bruins are going to need if they want to win this ball game.
Definitely, and I think that what the Bruins need to do is just keep putting points on the board. We've seen how powerful this offense has and what a weapon they have in quarterback Cesarca and his ability to run. So the Bruins continuing to put points on the board is going to be really beneficial. And one thing I am interested in is Ariane Boyd coming out here for these runs. We haven't been seeing him all that much until later in the game. And so that's something I wasn't expecting Coach Logan to do with how well Heron and Tan have been playing. So I am interested to see him come out here as a third running back.
And definitely an interesting thing. And I mean, both Tan and Heron have had a couple just very minor injuries throughout the season, but it's always nice to have that third back, even to give those other backs just an in-game break. And, it's very beneficial for the team. And Boyd is definitely a different type of running back, and he does a good job getting his pads down and running through tackles like we just saw there on that touchdown. So Brown is going to kick this one off. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, it looks like the Wolves player, Zaynito, caught that one and ran right out of bounds at just about the 1 yard line. And that gives the Bruins defense a great opportunity here as they look to capitalize on this opportunity.
That was definitely an interesting choice by the Grandview receiver. I'm not sure entirely why he did that. He caught the ball at about the 1 yard line, took a couple steps, and then went out of bounds at the 1. I don't know if he intended to do that or his body kind of just took over and that's what happened. But the Bruins are definitely in a really good spot here to potentially get a safety, and we'll see what Cesarca is able to do with this, as he is a really mobile quarterback. Cesarca is going to hand it off, and they are able to get out of the end zone. That's That puts the Wolves at about the 8th-yard line. Cesarca is going to scramble and short pass out here to number 10, who's going to take it up to the 30 before he gets pushed out of bounds by number 21, Eli Martinez. That's going to put the Wolves at the 30. Cesarca is going to drop back and make that pass. Tempted to number 3, Zay Nito. Incomplete there as he dropped back in and overthrew him out of bounds near the 42-yard line. Again, we apologize for any technical difficulties. The Bruins lead 14-7 with 7:03 left to go here in the first half. It's 2nd down and 10 on the 30-yard line for the Wolves. Cesarca is going to drop back. There's Logan Brantley coming for him, and he just tackled him, and Cesarca did end up throwing that one away, which is going to bring up 3rd and 10 on the 30. Obviously, the Wolves here haven't had much success on this drive with their passing plays, so I am interested to see if they're going to run this ball or if they're going to try to keep this in Cesarca's hands and try to pick up this first down. There is a flag down on the play, as I think the clock wound down on that one. Looked like Cesarca was calling for the snap there, and he didn't get it off in time, so that's going to push them back even further. It's 3rd and 15 from the 25. Now the Wolves have to make up 15 yards here on 1 down, so we'll see what Coach Doherty has drawn up here. Cesarca has Vernon out to his left. He is going to keep the ball. Purchase just comes in and sacks him at around the 12-yard line. That is going to pull up 4th down and 15 for the Wolves. I think they're going to bring their punt team on here. Nope, my apologies. They are going to keep in the offense, it seems. Oh. And it seems the Bruins this time were prepared for this punt. We've got Heron and Johnston back there to receive. Cesarca's punt is going to be touched at just around the 46-yard line. And there we saw the Wolves try to run that same play that they ran earlier, but the Bruins did read it this time. They had Heron and Johnston back there ready for it, so it didn't seem to be as successful as maybe the Wolves would have hoped, as that punt came out pretty low. And the Bruins do have good field position here on the 46. Vodeka takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Tan as he scrambles around the outside. And he brought down near looks like he was brought down near the 47 for a loss of 1 yard on that play.
And Reagan, this is a pivotal opportunity here for the Bruins as they have great field position, just about 5.5 minutes remaining here in this quarter, and Coach Logan is going to have to take a timeout, but definitely an opportunity here that the Bruins should try to capitalize on and get some more points on the board going into halftime. They did receive the first half kickoff, so they will be kicking it off to Grandview, so adding an extra score on the board would be very helpful here for the Bruins when they come out of half.
And Will, I know you mentioned it before, but I think this is the closest we've seen the Bruins with another team going into the half, and this was the same case last year when the Bruins played Grandview. I believe they were up 21-7 or something around there at the end of the first half last year against the Wolves, which was the closest they had last year as well. So it seems history is repeating itself out here tonight, and the Bruins are definitely having to fight a little bit harder against this Grandview team.
And last year when the Bruins played the Wolves, it was actually, I believe, during the homecoming football game. And if I'm not mistaken, the Wolves were kind of driving down the field near the end of the half, and Tyler Tolbert was able to make a big 4th down stop. But it's definitely a fun matchup. Vidika is going to roll out to his right, and he's going to give the reverse, and that is fumbled, and the Wolves will pick that one up. And what was a great opportunity for the Bruins has now turned into an opportunity for the Wolves with about 5:15 remaining here in the second quarter. And the Bruins were trying to get the toss, the little reverse action from Vidika to freshman Jaden Fox. And Fox not quite able to handle it. It might have been a little bit of a high toss, but definitely a momentum swing here as the Bruins defense has to hustle back out onto the field. So they're going to need a big stand here, Reagan, so that it is not tied up going into half.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. Here's another momentum shift. The defense has been responding well to these momentum shifts by Grandview, so we'll see what they're able to do here.
And it looks like we're going to have 2 flags on the play. They might get Grandview for illegal man downfield. We will await the call from the referee. And they will get the Wolves for illegal man downfield. So that will push them back, and it will be a replay of first down. And the Bruins defense, we could see a little fire on that play. They're coming out and they're like, hey, we need to make a big stop here, and we could see a little fire. So definitely looking to continue that after the Wolves have been set back 5, nearing the 50-yard line.
And the Bruins defense definitely, I would say, responds well to adversity out here. They are definitely not willing to be made to look like fools, and they're coming out here and making these big plays, and they aren't going to let these teams roll right over them after these big momentum shifts.
And this pass is going to come out to the right side, and a joint effort from Braylon Warren and Blake Purchase will get the receiver out of bounds at just about the original line of scrimmage, bringing up 2nd down and 10 for the Wolves. And the Wolves have definitely transitioned a little bit out of the running game here, or at least the traditional running game, into more of a passing game. And hey, let's use our very athletic quarterback, Liam Cesarka, and have him do a little bit of the work too. Cesarka is going to drop back. Purchase gets a hand on that, it looked like. And the receiver, I believe that was number 10, Braden Powers, still able to get the first down. And very nice throw there by Cesarka.
Definitely, and that was a nice play out there to Powers. And you're right, Will, they do seem to be shifting more to these receivers out here, and that is interesting after their last drive where they were unsuccessful with 3 passing attempts in a row that didn't pan out and did end up going incomplete. They seem to have got it a little bit figured out here, so I don't know if there was a miscommunication, but it seems that they have their passing a little bit more figured out.
And it was not a first down, so on the third down attempt, Chase Dahir is able to punch that one forward for about a gain of 5 or 6 on the play and bring up a Wolves first down. And Wolves are driving. There's about 4:50 remaining in this second quarter. And Bruins defense has to get a stop here if they would like to keep the lead heading into halftime. Cesarka is going to hand this one off. And Dahir will get tripped up after looks like about a gain of 3 or 4 on the play. And the Wolves are in no hurry here. They are trying to give the Bruins as little time remaining, whether the Wolves score or not. They don't want to give the Bruins any extra opportunities here in this first half to put any points on the board. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 22-yard line. Wolves will bring one in motion, and Zakara will get tackled after the quarterback sneak. I believe that was Chase Brackney on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
And for everyone listening at home, we haven't had a broadcast in a while here, which means we haven't had a Twitter question of the game in a while. We are going to have one of those for you right at the beginning of the second half, so stay tuned for that, and we love to read your answers as always. So make sure you're following us on Twitter at Cherry Creek SN so you're prepared for when the Twitter question of the game hits you at the beginning of this second half.
So it's 3rd down and 6 to go for the Wolves from the 22-yard line. There's just about 3 minutes remaining in this first half, and Zakar is going to roll out to his left. He'll throw, and that is caught on the far sideline by Nito, and he is knocked out of bounds by Keon Johnson, but not until he gets the first down. So Wolves have a whole new set of downs, and they're looking to capitalize here. And one of the things that has been interesting, Reagan, this year is, except for the Ohio game, these Bruins starters haven't had to really play a complete game of football. So definitely going to be interesting tonight as we have a close game to see how they can continue to perform. Zakar is going to throw this one out to the right side, and nice play there by Angelo Patrides on the first down play. It looks like about a gain of 3 there for the Wolves. That was Ethan Arlt on the reception.
And Will, what you were just saying is exactly right. These starters normally don't even have to play that much into the second half usually, and that is one thing I think we're going to start seeing here as the playoffs near, and especially against these good teams like Grandview, is that these starters are going to have to keep their stamina up and stay in there. I think normally what we've seen is the defense does stay in a lot longer than the offense. Usually we start to bring in other running backs and wide receivers, so that is going to be something. You're completely right, though. We are going to start seeing more here as we get into the playoffs.
And the Wolves will hand this one off, and Brantley comes flying in along with a couple other Bruins to make the tackle just short of the first down marker, and we will have another 3rd and short situation here for the Wolves.
And Brantley up on your screen right now is another one of those high impact seniors that we always love to talk about. He always has such high energy. He is going to be playing at Kansas next year, and we are so excited to see him continue his career. He's been such a high impact player out here for Creek, making those big tackles.
So it is 3rd down and 3 for the Wolves from the 7-yard line. Just under 1 minute and 30 remaining in this first half. And Zakara is going to let Coach Doherty take a timeout. And Coach Doherty wants to make sure that they get the right play call up there. And I'm sure that Coach Logan is not opposed to letting his defense take a quick breather and get their feet under them.
And I do think this has been good management of the clock by Grandview here, as like you said, they're trying to leave Creek with as little time as possible to try and score again before this half. And I think that's definitely a smart thing that Doherty is doing, kind of letting this play clock run down and get get closer to the end before snapping the ball and just using whatever he has to try and run this out a little bit so that the Bruins don't have a good opportunity to try and score again.
And coming out of the timeout, this could be one of the most crucial plays of the game here, Reagan, on third down, as Zakar will line up in the shotgun. And he's going to hand it off, and a bunch of Bruins were able to get there, and it looks like, according to that line judge, that the Wolves will be short of the first down by just a little bit. And Reagan, we've talked about players going back and forth. We just saw Hank Zelinskis, the center, run onto the field. It looks like he is going to be playing a little bit of defense. These guys are going back and forth, and once again, Hank is an athlete, and we've seen him do some great things on the offensive end of the field and coming out again on the defensive end. So definitely looking forward to seeing. I mean, that's a big D-line that they got out there right now, Reagan, and it is 4th down and 2, so they're going to be needing it. Cesarka will take this. He's going to hand it off, and it looks like the Bruins not quite able to get the stop there. Brantley made the tackle along with Javion Smith-Combs, but they were not able to stop him short of the first down marker. So with just about 31 seconds remaining, Coach Doherty is going to take his second timeout of the half, and will try to set up his team on 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
And Doherty looks very pleased with his team down there. It seems things are shaking out as he wants them, so it's going to be a test for the Bruins defense here. This is really going to be a testament to their power down there, see if they are able to make this stop going into the half. I think whether the Bruins are able to make this stop or the Wolves do end up getting the score, it's going to definitely set the tone for the beginning of the second half and kind of swing the momentum one way or the other going into the rest of this game.
And Reagan, this game is not only a rivalry, but it's a crucial game here, as the winner of this will be the winner of the Centennial League. And if the Bruins win this, they will most likely get the #1 seed heading into playoffs. However, if not, there will definitely be some other implications happening. So looking forward to seeing how this game pans out, but definitely an important one. So Cesarka will take this from the 3. He's going to hand it off, and nice play there for the Bruins as they're able to swarm Dahir, and looks like maybe a gain of about 1 on the play. Another timeout here for the Wolves. This is the last timeout that they have, and definitely now they will have to be conscientious of that clock, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them try to put this second down play in the air, Reagan.
And Will, I'm also interested to see whether they put this in the air or leave the ball with Cesarka. He does have a lot of rushing touchdowns on this season. He has got 10 rushing touchdowns on the season, which is just 3 less than the 13 that their starting running back Donovan Vernon has, which is definitely an interesting statistic. We don't normally see quarterbacks with that high of rushing touchdowns when compared to their starting running back. So I am definitely interested to see if they keep this one in the air or on the ground.
And they have right now number 80, Ethan Arl, in. I wouldn't be surprised if they send him in a little arrow route out to the right side here. And after the motion, Zarka is going to run this one himself, and it looks like he will maybe get in. Nice play there by the Bruins D-line, and no signal yet. And it looks like he's not in. And 3 seconds remaining on the clock.
Will, what happened there? It looked like they were getting ready to.
So they were getting ready to, I believe they were getting ready to spike the ball, Reagan, and try to get one more play in. If they spike the ball, it stops the clock. We did have a flag, though, so we're going to wait for the call here. and it looks like they're going to get the Bruins for the delay of game. Basically, that means that the Bruins were doing something that did not allow the Wolves to get set, and that's very unfortunate for the Bruins as it moves the Wolves even closer to the goal line and stops the clock for the Wolves. So there was 3 seconds remaining. It is 3rd down and goal from the 1 yard line. This will be the final play of the half, and we see Cesarka getting under center. Most likely he's going to just try and power this one in. And he will not, but the running back, number 35, Donovan Vernon, will get that one to go. And as the clock hits zeros, the Wolves respond with a touchdown of their own. And Bruins had a nice stand there on 2nd down. Unfortunately, they were not able to keep the Wolves out of the end zone on 3rd down after that delay of game.
And Will, that is a huge, huge play for the Grandview Wolves and for the Cherry Creek team, as we have not gone into halftime tied, I don't think in a very long time, if they are able to make this extra point, and that's going to be set up definitely in interesting situations for the Bruins going into the second half here. They're going to need to really come out strong and try and put up another score on the board. We'll see how they respond to this. We haven't seen this situation in a long time.
And Reagan, as you mentioned, headed into halftime, it is 14-14. The Bruins are tied with the Grandview Wolves, and this has been a very exciting half of football so far. It looks like we are going to send it down to sideline reporter Ella Davis. Ella, tell us your thoughts.
Guys, it's been a super interesting game so far. There has been crazy plays going on. We just saw that rushing touchdown from Grandview, along with a QB sneak for Grandview to get their 14 points. And for us, Bubba Tan and Ariane Boys both scored rushing touchdowns as well. It is 14-14 right now, and I think the boys are kind of on edge. I don't know if they thought it was going to be this tough of a game, but I definitely think that they're going to keep fighting and keep challenging each other. They are both great offense and defense, and I think it's making it for a great game. Back up to you guys.
And thank you, Ella. And you are right. It has been a very exciting half of football. We are going to continue our live coverage here after a quick break. Enjoy the entertainment of the Cherry Creek Palms, and we will be back right here on CCSN. And hello everybody, welcome back to the broadcast booth. I'm William McDavid alongside Regan Kanabi, and we've had an exciting game of football so far as the Cherry Creek Bruins have taken on the Grandview Wolves in what has been the closest matchup of the season so far for these Bruins. Reagan, there have been lots of ups and downs, and momentum swings have been kind of the theme of the game tonight, but it's been exciting to say the least.
Well, it definitely has, and I think personally I've been waiting for this for a while now, this close game, and I think that we've been accustomed to seeing the Bruins blowing out these teams by 2, 3, 4 scores, and this is when we're going to get to see what they're truly capable of and how they keep themselves together mentally and look to kind of make a plan of attack and go out here and try and beat this really good Grandview team.
And Brown is going to take the opening kickoff here for the second half, and that one is high and long, and the Wolves are going to try to return this one, and looks like there's going to be a tackle here on the near sideline at just about the 33-yard line, and we will get to see the Bruins defense come out here once more. And we've seen some fantastic performances tonight by various defenders, including Blake Purchase and Angelo Petrides. They've both had some amazing plays, and they're going to have to continue putting pressure on junior quarterback Liam Cesarka if they want to win this ball game.
And one thing also, Will, that we've seen from Blake Purchase specifically is playing on offense and defense. So I'm sure he is a little bit tired out there. He's a great athlete, so I'm sure he's doing okay. But that is something we're looking at right now is the endurance of these defensive guys. And
Cesarka will keep that. He will get hit first by Brantley, and then a bunch of other Bruins will meet him there as well, probably about a gain of 3 on the play. And we saw a lot of play action into designated quarterback runs here. And I think that one of the things that's impressive about some of those quarterback option plays is in Donovan, they have a fantastic running back, but Cesarka also can move on his feet. So definitely a 2-threat backfield there for the Wolves, and something the Bruins have done a pretty good job containing tonight, but will want to continue to improve upon as the night continues. Cesarka is going to drop back and fire one to the tight end across the middle, and he will be brought down at just about the 44-yard line after the first down. That was Simon Kibbe on the reception, and that will move the chains for the Wolves.
And, well, what you just said is exactly right. It's almost as if the Bruins defense is having to deal with 2 running backs out here as opposed to the traditional quarterback and running back situation, which is, I think, a unique asset for Grandview. We haven't seen that in other teams so far this season. I do think that is a huge, huge contributor to why the Wolves have been able to tie up this game.
And Cesarka is going to take this trips bunch down on the lower end of your screen. He's going to take it once more on the option, and he will be brought down by Petrides after a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. And that appears to be one of the plays that the Wolves are very much enjoying, Reagan. We've seen an increase in that play throughout the night, and the Bruins had to be expecting that. We see Blake Purchase and Chase Brackney doing a lot of contain, trying to keep Cesarka and Donovan inside of that Bruins defensive line, but it definitely is a difficult task, to say the least. And it will be 2nd down and 6 here for the Wolves. Cesarka is going to take this one, and he's going to try to fire one across the middle, and nice play there by Jake Howell. It looks like Kibbe was able to get enough for the first down. He kind of had to fight with Howell there. Kibbe is a big tight end standing at, it looks to me like just about 6'5", and he's done a nice job tonight. We didn't see him a whole lot in the first half, but every play that he's made has been an impactful one.
Well, I was just about to mention how tall he looked, and that's definitely helped him stretch out that length and be able to pick up those extra yards.
And looks like they're going to hand it off to Donovan, and Donovan will be swarmed by Petrides and Brantley, and that will be a loss of yardage. I think that Brantley may have stripped the ball, but they called Donovan down on the play, so looked like Brantley was hoping that he could get the fumble call, but it didn't come for him. So it will be 2nd down and 12 for the Wolves.
We did see a little bit of premature celebration there from Brantley and many members of the sideline over there.
Zakara is going to take this one and hand it off once again to Donovan. Nice hit there, and the ball popped loose after Angelo Patrides had a beautiful hit there on Donovan, and that was recovered by the Wolves. Luckily, offensive lineman Wyatt Walters was there to pounce on the ball, but you always hear a gasp from the fans and the sidelines when something like that happens, and all the players look around for the ball. It's kind of funny. If someone didn't understand the sport of football, they would be like, what is happening right now?
Definitely. I think there's a lot of things in sports in general that people do, reactions they have, and someone not accustomed to it would be very confused.
So it will be 3rd down and just about 12. Sakara is going to roll out to his left, and he has time, fires one deep. Nice play there for the Bruins. That was number 5, Logan Brantley, with the diving pass breakup, and beautiful work there, keeping the Wolves from converting the 1st down. And if I had to guess, we're going to see a little bit of that trickery with the punt team once more, as it is 4th down and 12. And here it comes.
And there go Heron and Johnson out there, so we're ready for it this time.
And we haven't been seeing too deep for the Bruins on punt returns. We have mostly been seeing one single back there. Nice punt there for the Wolves. Heron is going to take this one at about the 15-yard line, and he's going to cut back and will be taken down at about the 20-yard line by a Wolves defender. And that is where the Bruins will start their drive here. And nice defensive stand for the Bruins defense. They are going to need to keep doing that, give their offense as many chances as possible to score the ball.
Definitely will, and I think that we've seen, especially Logan Brantley, he's one of our huge defensive seniors that we're always kind of talking about, and he's just such a ball of uncontained energy out there, and he's just, I think, elevates that energy for the defense, which is certainly a good thing.
And Tan is going to take this one after the fake toss to Pollard. Tan refused to go down at first, but then he will be taken down after just about a gain of 1 or 2 on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. And, you know, Reagan, we haven't actually seen the Bruins throw the ball a whole lot tonight, and it typically has just been some quick passes. We did see the one deep ball that fell incomplete to Cooper Pollard, but I'll be curious to see if the Bruins try to take some more passing attempts here in this 2nd half. They're going to pitch this one out to Tan on the near sideline. Tan had nowhere to go, and he is swallowed up by a pack of Wolves. And I believe that is no gain on the play, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 8. And this is going to be a pivotal play here for the Bruins, as this would give the Wolves great field position if they had to punt this one away.
And Will, I totally agree with you. I would like to see the Creek offense utilize their receivers a little bit more. We have such a weapon in senior Ishmael Cece over there that they really do seem to be underutilizing so far this season. He is so powerful. Looks like this one's going to come out to him. And
Cece with an amazing catch, and the sideline seems to be his friend, and he's had some nice plays this season as he somehow stays in bounds. That one wasn't as close as some of the ones we've seen this season, but nice job there by CC, and that is a huge lift for the team to have a new set of downs, not be crunched against their end zone, and hopefully keep this drive alive.
And one thing we've seen from CC especially is that he's a smart kid in general, and he is able to make those heads-up plays, and his knowledge of the game is so high, and that's why we always like to see that ball get out there to him.
And they handed that one off to Heron, and he will be driven backwards. I believe it'll be just about a loss of 1 on the play.
It looks like we're starting to see a little bit of chippiness here between Grandview and Creek as the tensions kind of rise out there, so hopefully our guys can kind of keep themselves together and stay composed against this Grandview defense.
And with just about 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter, this has been a pretty fast quarter so far. There haven't been a whole lot of stoppages. Vidika is going to take this one and roll out to his right, but he is going to be taken down. Huge sack there for the Wolves as number 58 was able to get there and make the play. And that will bring up a third down and very long for the Bruins. And I'll be curious to see what Coach Logan draws up here. You know, you kind of see two strategies on third and long. You either see something like a short screen pass just to set up a punt, or you see something like a deep ball, which I would not be surprised if we see either here. We see Ishmael Cece over on the inside on that far side of the screen. It looks like going to be a deep ball here. Cece makes the adjustment, and he will get taken down, but nice adjustment there for Ishmael Cece. The throw was definitely behind him, but he was able to turn his body around, kind of got hit awkward after the play, but nice catch there and crucial catch for Cece.
Definitely, and I think one thing that we'd like to see here more is the Bruins offensive line is so powerful, and they are able to give Vidika time back there to throw that ball, and Cece is able to get open, and I would like to see Vidika keep the ball for a little bit longer, find those passes, and be able to pick up more yards doing that as opposed to all of these rushing plays.
And Vidika is going to fire this one out to Johnston on the far sideline. Johnston makes one move, and he will continue fighting upfield, and that'll be enough for another Bruins first down. And Cece, we talked about him being a playmaker. There's a reason that he's getting some of these looks from colleges. He's changing the dynamic of this team right here in the game, and he gave them a lift with that sideline catch down here on the near side, and another one with that third down conversion. And he's someone who makes an impact on every single game that he plays in, and we're seeing that here tonight.
He definitely is, and he, again, is such a weapon, and we love to see Logan utilizing all the tools he has because he has so many in this Creek team.
And first down, Vidika's going to hand this one off. It looks like that was Ariane Boyd. And Boyd will be taken down after a gain of about 1 or maybe 2 on the play. And that'll bring up second down and 8 from the 43-yard line, as the Bruins have entered into Wolves territory for, I believe, just the third time tonight. It seems like every time that the Bruins have gotten down there, they've been able to punch it in for a touchdown. So we'll see how they can react here. Vidika will take this one, and he's going to hand that off to Heron. And Heron able to get just about 6 yards on the play to bring up third down and short.
And there's another one of those nice, reliable runs from Heron that I think the Creek offense has really just been putting so much stock in so far this season. It's always nice when you can get out there and pick up between 4 to 6 yards and kind of just steadily punch away at these downs. We just have 2 yards left, so I wouldn't be surprised if they send this one out running again.
And it looks like they got Ariane Boyd back in the game for the Bruins. They're going to go with the quarterback sneak with Breda Vidika, and it looks like he has enough for the first down. We'll see where the spot is. And looks like they are going to give it to him. And that was a beautiful play there. They sent Boyd almost as a fullback to pave the way for Vidika. Boyd kicked out that defensive end, and Vidika had a nice little hole, and then he just had to drive forward for those last couple of inches. But football is definitely a game of inches, Reagan, and we've seen that a couple times this season. But Vidika able to get those extra inches and get the first. And he's going to kind of throw this one back shoulder to Max Rodriguez. Somehow he was able to get that away. I wasn't sure if that was going to end in a sack, Reagan.
Yeah, he did seem to drop pretty far back there. He had Grandview's number 11 coming after him fast, and he, for whatever reason, got past that O-line, and Vidika just had to throw that one away. I think that was a smart move in that situation. You don't want to take a sack that far back.
And that's one of the things about being a quarterback. You have to, have some of those heads-up plays and know that, hey, we cannot afford to take a sack here. That would have been about an 8 or 9 yard sack. So nice work there by Vidika. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 now. Rodriguez in motion. Vidika is going to fire it out to Cece on the far sideline on the little wide receiver screen. Cece has room and will get past the 20 into the red zone for the Bruins.
And there's another impactful play by CC, his ability to not only make those great catches, but also run upfield with them too. I've been loving getting to see him more in this game.
Yeah, for sure, Reagan. And we haven't even gotten to see him a ton in the first half, but then he definitely came out and made a statement here in the second half so far. We're actually nearing the end of the third quarter. I feel like it might just be me, but this has been a pretty speedy third quarter here. Not a whole lot of stoppage. And Vidika is going to go with the hard count. He's going to hand this one off to Tan. Tan will be taken down after a gain of about 3. Hard hit there for the Wolves.
I definitely do think this has been a really quick third quarter. I was looking at the clock right when you said that, and this one has wound down pretty fast, just under 30 seconds left. We'll be able to see if the offense can punch in another one before they switch the field.
And just about 15 seconds remaining. Offense doesn't seem to be in a huge hurry, so if I had to guess, they were probably going to let this one tick out. Vidika looking back at that clock. And that should do it for the third quarter. So heading into the fourth quarter, we are all tied up at 14. And the Bruins are knocking at the front door after what's been a great drive, saved by a couple Ishmael Cece first down conversions. But Reagan, you can't ask for a better football game than this. 2 rival teams, and it's been a lot of fun. With that, we are going to send it down to Ella Davis on the sideline. Ella, tell us what you're seeing.
Thanks, guys. We saw a very interesting third quarter. Not much happened. Ishmael Cece, number 14, he's a senior wide receiver. He had a great catch, and I just want to focus in a little more on him. He did receive another 2 offers recently this week from Stanford as well as Fresno State. And I think he's one of the last seniors to commit D1 with 10 offers as well. And I think everyone's super interested to see where he goes. I have a feeling he'll probably go to one of these California schools from Berkeley to Stanford. I know all the senior class is super interested to see where he goes and where he ends up. As long as he just keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to be really good for him in college. As well as the rest of the senior class, he is playing Senior Assassin, this super fun game that a ton of kids throughout the senior class are playing it. They have like a huge game, 400 kids, and you get a partner and you have different teams and everyone is trying to get each other out, and it's super fun. I know Blake Purchase and Logan Brantley are partners, as well as Braylon and Max, and I think they are just having super fun senior year along with this senior night. Back up to you guys.
And thank you, Ella. A little look into the normal life of a senior star football player in Ishmael Cece and some of these other star players tonight. It's a lot of fun, and senior year is supposed to be fun, and hopefully they can cap this off with a great end to this football season. Vidika is going to take the snap on 2nd down and 6 from the 12-yard line. He's going to hand it off to Tan on the draw. Tan bouncing outside to the left side. He has one blocker. Tan punching forward, and he's going to be just short of the goal line. Nice run there for Bubba Tan. And he had a blocker in Cece out on the left side, and Cece did a very nice job. One thing that wide receivers are always under-rewarded on and under-recognized on is their downfield blocking, and Cece always has done a fantastic job of that, and he really was just working hard on that play. And we apologize, our camera was not on the right camera, but we are back now. And the Bruins are now on the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. Vidika is going to take this one for the quarterback sneak, and he's in. Touchdown, Bruins. And that was probably the most methodical drive for the Bruins all year. They started back on their own 20-yard line, and step by step, play by play, they were able to drive it down the field and finish it off with the touchdown for the Bruins. And Caden Brown is going to attempt the PAT to try to put the Bruins up by a full 7 after the start of this fourth quarter. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. So the Bruins will take the 21-14 lead with 11:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Reagan, this is where the defense for the Bruins has to get a stop. If they can get a stop and then get the offense back out onto the field, that will be huge for the Bruins as they look to try to finish this game out on top.
100% agree with that, Will. This has been pretty back and forth score-wise so far, and I think if the Bruins can get this stop, it'll really just kind of put a pin in it from the Grandview side and keep this momentum rolling in Creek's direction. I think if Grandview is able to get another score here, that's going to make it even more of an interesting game than it already is. I would say it's definitely the #1 goal of the defense here to keep Grandview from scoring and try and keep this momentum rolling, where in the past, in the earlier portion of this game, Grandview was able to respond. And so it's going to be really important here for the defense to make that stop.
And Reagan, one thing as you talk about getting close to a closer game, neither of these teams have really shown that they are looking to use their kickers a whole lot when they're in the opposing team's territory. So that'll definitely lead to more of an interesting game, as we might not see any game-winning field goals here tonight, rather some game-winning touchdowns. That kick there for Caden Brown sails out of bounds once more. So the Wolves will have the ball at the 40-yard line, and that's good to field position here. The Bruins defense is going to have to focus after that one.
And, Will, I would just like to take a quick second here for anyone at home listening there after the third quarter to our sideline reporter, Ella Davis, explaining Senior Assassin. If you didn't understand, what it is a tradition here at Creek where the senior class gets together and signs up for this game. Everyone gets a partner, and you're given targets, I believe, every week to 10 days, and you have to go and shoot those people with a water gun while they don't have floaties on. There's all sorts of very specific rules, but I think one thing I can say for sure is I don't think I'd want either Blake Purchase or Logan Brantley running at me with a water gun, so sorry to their targets.
And nice throw there for Cesarka down the field. Braden Powers with the catch. Powers is just a sophomore. I believe he had the touchdown earlier in the game, the first one for the Wolves, and that set up a big first down here for the Wolves, and those are the big plays that the Bruins are not going to be able to give up as we continue throughout this fourth quarter.
And Powers has also seemed to be a favorite for Cesarka, someone maybe that the defense wants to really hone in on in this last quarter and make sure that those plays don't happen anymore.
And Cesarka is going to hand this one off. And nice play there for the Bruins as they take Dahir down. And it looks like just about a gain of 3 or 4 on the play. And Reagan, this has been a pretty even matchup. We've seen a couple variations of both of these teams' offenses tonight, but it's definitely been even, and I think it just shows how dominant both of these teams can be as we head into the playoffs.
Definitely, and I think that is the reason why everyone was kind of anticipating this game against Grandview, not just for the rivalry, but because they are such a good team.
And Cesarka fires one out to the near sideline to Davion Henderson. Henderson able to get enough for the first down, kind of spinning forward as Keon Johnson made the tackle. And it actually looks like the spot of the ball is going to be about a yard short of the first down. We hear some not happiness from the fans here on the Grandview side.
They do seem to be a little bit disappointed with that spot. We'll see what the Grandview offense can do with that here.
And Cesarka is going to take this one, and he will hand it off inside. And Bruins not quite able to get the stop before the first down, so that will be a Grandview first down, and the Wolves will have the ball on the Bruin 40-yard line.
Well, I think one thing that both of these teams have been doing such a great job of is just kind of chipping away at these downs and methodically making their way downfield. We haven't seen really any heroics so far from anyone, and that's something I think a little bit different than what we've been seeing in these past games. For example, last game we had some huge rushing touchdowns from Jordan Heron, and we haven't seen that so far tonight.
And Cesarca is going to take this one and drop back, looking to pass it deep. And nice play there. And it looks like we are going to get a pass interference call on the defense possibly, as Eli Martinez came flying in to make that hit.
It almost seemed like a possible interception there that kind of went through his hands. He seemed a little disappointed after that one.
And the officials are talking. There also is a possibility that they could potentially wave this flag off. I saw maybe a left hand grab there from McKeever on the hip of the receiver, but I didn't feel like it was anything too obvious from here. The only other thing that they could be discussing would be a possible helmet-to-helmet contact by Martinez on the hit. It was a little bit lower probably than the officials would have appreciated. And they are going to get Martinez with the personal foul after the contact. And you know, that's a tough play there, Reagan, and we saw this a couple times last year with Aiden Knapke, but you're flying in to make a play and there's a collision over the middle and not a whole lot that you can do about that. But that's a tough play. That's a big lift there for the Wolves, as they will have a fresh set of downs from the Bruins 25-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. So Cesarca is going to take this one from the shotgun, and he will keep it himself. And nice play there by Easy Rice, as it looks like it's going to be about a loss of 2 on the play. And the whole Bruins defensive line seemed to be there to make the play.
One thing we always like to talk about when it comes to Easy Rice is just how he's able to kind of be such a vocal part of this team. And we always talk about different kinds of leaders by example, and those who are really loud, and Easy does seem to be one of those, and he definitely gets these guys pumped up and ready to go out there and make those big tackles as we've seen.
So it will be 2nd down and 11 here for the Wolves. Cesarca is going to drop back, Purchase with the pressure from the outside, and that pass will get over the head of Brantley, and that was Kyler Vaughn on the reception, and that's enough for a Wolves 1st down and more. And I believe that puts them on just about the 6-yard line. So it will be 1st and goal for the Wolves here. They are knocking on the door as well in response to the Bruins touchdown.
And we saw Brantley there kind of reach out for that one. That was far above his head. I don't think he could have gotten to that, but he definitely seems to be hunting these interceptions these days, as I think he probably leads the team in interceptions so far this season.
And they're going to hand this one up the middle. Nice play there by Patrides and a bunch of other Bruins, as Dahir was on the run. It looks like maybe a gain of about 1 on the play. 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line.
And Will, we said it's going to be key for the Bruins to stop this drive here. What do you think is going to kind of transpire here if they are able to get that score?
You know, Reagan, I think that the Bruins offense will just need to have a really, once again, slow, methodical drive. But we're going to see here if the Bruins defense can come up with a big goal line stop. And Purchase with the statement as he gets to Cesarca very fast. I don't understand how he got there. He basically beat the snap on that play.
And that's why Purchase was the highest recruited player in the state. I don't even think anyone has an explanation for what just happened.
So that was a huge play there by Blake Purchase, making it 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line here for the Wolves. And that is what the Bruins defense needed, give a little bit of life back in them. And this is going to be possibly one of the biggest 3rd down plays of the night here, as we have Tripp's bunch on that top side of your screen. Cesarca a little bit of pressure, and he's going to fire one out to the near side, and that'll be incomplete. Nito was the receiver. And Cesarco went down on the play. I think Chase Brackney might have gotten to him after that pass got off. I think he was asking the officials for a call, but none will be received. So, Reagan, this could very well be the game here if the Bruins are able to get a stop. Obviously, they'll have to come out and continue pursuing on the offensive end, but this is a pivotal play. It looks like they actually are bringing out the field goal unit. And given that this is getting kicked from the 12-yard line, it will be about a 29-yard field goal attempt. And that kick may have gotten deflected, but it looks, and it is good. So the Wolves will tack an extra 3 points on the board, and it is 21-17. Bruins lead with 7:28 remaining in the fourth quarter, and fantastic stop there for the Bruins. Blake Purchase with the huge sack, and Reagan, on that play, I truly didn't even see Purchase come from anywhere. It looked like he just spawned right in front of Cesarca.
It didn't. He didn't. I think I must have blinked on that play because I opened my eyes and there he was. I have no idea what happened either. But, well, I do think it is going to be critical that the Bruins can get down there and score on this one. But I think probably what they want different from this drive is to try and take up as much time as they can. We have seen games in the past where the final score is really just left up to, or the winner of the game is really left up to who has the ball in their hands last. And we hopefully want to avoid that situation here by scoring again and increasing this lead to more than just 4.
And looks like we see a little confusion here from the kick return team. We haven't seen a whole lot here on this kickoff, but these special teams plays can be big plays, and we have Johnson and I believe that is Fox back there to receive this one, and it looks like they are going to go with a little short kick to Cesario Scott. Cesario Scott fumbles it, and it gets knocked out, and that looks like that is Grandview ball.
And that breathes some life into Grandview for sure after that stop by the defense.
And a late flag does come in. It looks like it'll most likely be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Wolves.
Probably the sideline, maybe, for coming out too soon.
That will likely knock them back about 15 yards. But kind of a surprise onside kick there to Cesario Scott, and he was not quite able to handle that one.
That is an unfortunate turn of events for sure.
And it looks like they're actually going to get the Wolves for a personal foul. And that'll knock them back 15 yards, but no less excitement here from the Grandview fans and sideline as the Wolves will have another possession in what was a huge turn of events here for the Bruins. And
yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting that, and we see the defense come back out here again, and they are going to have to make another one of those big plays to stay in this game.
Cesarca is going to take this and drop back. He will fire one deep, and just out of the hands of Nito.
And well, that was a close one there. Cesarca had enough time back there to get that pass off, and if number 3 would have just been out a little bit further, that would have definitely been detrimental for the Bruins.
And Nito, just the 5'11" sophomore, definitely has some speed to him, and he was able to get out there. Wasn't quite able to haul that one in, but clearly the Wolves are not afraid to launch one deep, and Cesarca definitely has the arm to do so. I'll be curious to see if they continue to try that as we near the halfway point through this fourth quarter. Nito in motion. Cesarca is going to hand this one off. Donovan is going to break free, and he will be taken down after a huge gain of about 16 yards. And that is more than enough for the Wolves' first down.
And Will, I will say I don't think the Creek student section was exactly anticipating this happening when they put on all their Hawaiian clothes for the Hawaiian out, because usually what we've seen by this point in the game is that most of the student section is kind of gotten their cars and gone by now, but they're still here and they're anxiously anticipating the end of this close game.
And Reagan, this is going to come down to the wire like we said earlier. And Purchase is going to jump. So that'll move the Wolves forward another 5.
And we don't normally see that from Purchase.
He is a very disciplined player, but, you know, Reagan, in these types of situations, there's a lot of excitement in this stadium right now from both the Bruins and the Wolves, and, you know, he's thinking, hey, let's go make a play. So you can't blame him, and you appreciate it because, hey, he's ready to go, and he's ready to go make a play. So we'll see if he can get it back right here on 1st and 5 from the 28-yard line. And Zakar is going to drop back and Purchase with some pressure. Fire one deep. Nito not quite able to get there. He laid out for that one. And he's a little slow to get up. But that was a great look there for the Wolves.
Definitely, and Cesarka just seems to be a really multifaceted player. He's able to make those big throws with high accuracy, but he also has such an uncanny ability to run the ball, and I think that might be something we see a little bit more coming up here, as if maybe Grandview's hoping this defense is a little bit fatigued after being in the whole game when they normally aren't, and maybe see if Cesarka will start running some more of these balls.
Cesarka sends one in motion, and he's going to hand it off to Donovan once more. Donovan will be driven back by Martinez, and then looks like Brantley able to finish him off after a gain of about 2 on the play. Reagan, it looks like that play had a lot more potential than it ended up having, as Martinez kind of flew in there and was able to make the stop.
Yeah, we did see Donovan kind of roll off of him a little bit and try to make his way upfield. He was brought down by some more Bruins defenders that were ready, but I definitely could have seen if those defenders weren't there, him getting some great yardage off of that play.
So it will be 3rd down and 4 from the 27-yard line. The Wolves trying to capitalize on this opportunity after the muffed kickoff. And Zakara has to scramble, and that one tipped into the air, and Keon Johnson not quite able to pick that one off. He had an opportunity. He was in perfect position, and the Wolves still have a fighting chance here on this drive. It'll be 4th down and 4 yards to go, with 5 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
And Will, I think you could cut the tension in this stadium with a knife. Everyone seemed to kind of grab their head there. Time kind of slowed down as that ball bobbled in and out of his hands, and emotions are certainly running high right now. And
we hear cheering from both fan sections as Zakara is alone in the backfield. He's going to roll out to the right, and he will scramble, and he will get enough for the 1st down and more. Purchase will push him down at the 2-yard line, and a couple missed tackles, but mostly just Zakara being insanely athletic, and he has put the Wolves inside the 5-yard line, and it'll be 1st down and goal from the 2-yard line for the Wolves.
And that's one thing to be said about Cesarka. He is such a key part of this Grandview offense. It's why he entered this game with 420 rushing yards on the season. And the Bruins defense, they can watch this film as much as they want, but they've really never played against a team who has such a mobile quarterback. And it's showing here as Cesarka is able to escape these defenders.
And Nito will come in motion. Cesarka is going to hand this one off to Donovan. Donovan will be hit after a gain of about 1 on the play. We have a Bruin player slow to get up. That was Patrides. He made the hit, but he appears to be okay. So the ball will be placed on, it looks like, just about the half-yard line. And 2nd down and 1 here for the Wolves. And the Wolves are in no hurry here, as there's now 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. They're trying to take as much time off this clock as possible. Sakara is going to take this one himself, and he will be in for the touchdown.
And there's another rushing touchdown for Cesarca. I don't know if that makes 12 or 13 so far on the season, but certainly an impressive play by him.
And both Angelo Patrides and Blake Purchase were a little slow to get up on that play. This Bruins defense has taken a beating tonight, especially given the fact that they've had to be on the field so much. And with this field goal, the Wolves could go ahead by 3 points. And that one is up and good. So we have a score of 24-21 with 3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And Reagan, this has been the most exciting football game we've seen here during the Bruins season. And it's happening right here in front of our eyes. Bruins have a great opportunity, though. They have plenty of time. I believe that they do have all 3 timeouts remaining, and definitely they can capitalize on this possession.
Well, they do have 3 timeouts remaining, like you just said, and they have plenty of time. They've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I think one thing we're going to have to see from this Bruins team is they're going to have to be mature. They're going to have to keep themselves composed and be able to just get down there and score, because we need this touchdown right here.
And we will see if we have any more trickery here from the Wolves kickoff crew. Reagan, I said that there hadn't been very much excitement on the special teams so far tonight, and then that muffed kickoff led to the Wolves touchdown. So definitely Bruins want to capitalize on this kickoff right here. They will kick it back to Cesario Scott. Cesario Scott will catch that one, and he will go down to his knees at the 35-yard line. They took it right back to Cesario Scott, hoping he would not be able to get that one, but nice work there to haul that one in.
And one thing I will say about Grandview is, especially with head coach Tom Doherty, who came from the Bruins, it's really just such a mental battle against these two teams. Really smart playmakers in the head coaches on both sides of the ball, and it is why it's so exciting to watch these two teams play each other, because it becomes less of just a physical battle and more of a mental one, and that's always something with football that we love to see when we start bringing that more mental side of the game in.
And that pass tipped at the line by, I believe that was number 7, Brody Robinson, and Vidika was trying to come to this near sideline through the air, and that will bring up second down and 10.
And the Grandview sideline over here, their fans are getting really loud.
Yes, they have definitely come alive, and it's hard for us to tell over on that Creek sideline because we're not over there, but it's an intense game. Tan is going to have this one. He'll bounce outside, and he's going to be taken down after a gain of about 1 or 2 on the play. And that'll bring up a Bruins third down. And Reagan, I think that the Bruins need to take a deep breath here. I honestly wouldn't even be opposed to a timeout here for Coach Logan. This is going to be a critical play, and they need to get their composure and run something that they feel good about and not feel rushed trying to go into this play. There's still 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, so they don't need to be in any hurry. But it looks like we'll have Heron in the game. Vidika will be in shotgun. And Coach Logan did call the timeout, and he must not have liked what he was seeing, so he is going to bring his offense in, give him a break. And Reagan, I think that for the Bruins, this play right here is going to matter a lot because it's going to set up how the rest of this drive goes. And as we saw with that last touchdown, one first down there by CC was able to set up the whole rest of the drive. And I think that right here, a first down could be crucial to the success of the Bruins in the rest of this game.
Definitely, and I think what Coach Logan needs to do here is, just with any high emotion situation, kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, get yourself resituated here, set a goal, and figure out what they need to do to make this play. Maybe it is getting it out to CC on the sideline again, or something of that nature to kind of have a good jumping off point for the next play of the drive. And that is something that Coach Logan is so good about because he is such a seasoned coach. I think he's able to kind of calm his guys down, get them to see, okay, this is what we need to do to be successful here.
And we will have an empty backfield, 4 receivers on that far side of the field, 1 on the close side. And it's going to be a screen to Huron. Huron's going to cut up field, and he will have enough for the first down. And beautiful play call there for Coach Logan, as Huron able to give the team the first down. And now we are inside the 3-minute mark, and Bruins definitely will be picking up their intensity a little bit here, as this could very well be their final drive of the game. Vidika is going to try to throw. He is going to get wrapped up and taken down for a sack. Loss of 4 yards on the play. And they were trying to get it deep, I think, on that far sideline to Cece.
And you can see Heron there trying to make that block. I think, unfortunately, he just wasn't able to keep that guy from coming around, grabbing Vidika's, I think, his right arm there, kind of pulling him back around so he wasn't able to make that pass, and just ended up taking the sack.
And Vidika will have another pass outside to Cece once again. What a catch by Ishmael Cece. And once again, over there on that sideline, gets that toe tap, and that will bring up, looks like just about a 3rd down and 8 for the Bruins. And they are at the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line, yet to break into Wolves territory on this drive. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Heron in the backfield with Vidika. He will get the handoff, and he will get hit after a gain of about 5 on the play. Definitely 4th down territory here for the Bruins as the clock winds down to 2 minutes. And it will be 4th down, and looks like just about 3.
And it is going to be interesting to see what the Bruins do with this play clock here. They still have plenty of time, 2 timeouts.
Vidika will fire this one deep to Johnson, and it was long. And the Wolves will take over at their own 47-yard line. And I think that the Bruins were trying to catch the Wolves a little bit off guard there with the quick pass to Johnson, and Vidika just overshot it a little bit.
And Will, I think one thing, especially for this senior class that we have, but also these younger guys, is the Bruins haven't faced much adversity in the past few years here that they've won the state championship, but they're really starting to see it from this Grandview team, and it's really been so interesting to see how they've responded. They're still going strong. They're still playing this all the way through, and we love to see the heart there from these guys as they try and win this game.
And with 1:39 remaining, Coach Doherty is going to take his first timeout of the half. Coach Logan still has 2 timeouts remaining. So I believe that the Wolves will be required to at least get 1 first down if they would like to give the Bruins the ball, if they would like to avoid giving the Bruins the ball back, given Coach's timeouts. And Reagan, we've seen this offense for the Wolves have a very impressive showing tonight, and I think that both of these teams are well-rounded teams. We've seen great offensive and defensive performances from both of them, but definitely an interesting play call there for the Bruins. I was anticipating a timeout maybe to slow the game down, but it will now be the Wolves' ball from the 47-yard line. They're going to hand this one off, and Donovan will be brought down after a gain of about 2 on the play. Quick timeout there from Coach Logan. Only 5 seconds ran off the clock. And the Wolves likely to just keep this on the ground here. As I mentioned, I believe that they will be needing one first down in order to secure the game. And Reagan, one thing that's kind of fun tonight is the Creek students have their Hawaiian out over on the far sideline, and I think we have a ski out here for the Wolves on the near sideline. So just continues to show the rivalry. We got red and blue, we got Hawaiian and ski out, and you know, you can always appreciate this, and I would not be surprised if we see a matchup similar to this later in the playoffs.
Oh, for sure, Will, and I think it's how this game ends up is going to leave so much film for the Bruins to watch for when and if they eventually do see this Grandview team again.
And Donovan is going to have enough for the first down. McKeever trying to take him down, and it looks like that should about do it here in the Stetler Bowl. There's a minute and 23 seconds remaining on the clock. Coach Logan opted to not take his final timeout. And a hard-fought game for both teams. Zakara will come out onto the field for what looks like will probably be the last two plays of the game. He's going to take this one under center, and we'll be in victory formation. And these two teams are both fantastic teams. We've seen a lot of fight, and it's been exciting, Reagan, and I think that after tonight, both of these teams are going to come in with a little extra fire as they head into playoffs. And no matter what, I think that they both have things to be proud of and things to learn and things that they can work on as they head into playoffs. But both of these teams got better here tonight, and you know, I think heading into playoffs, you couldn't have asked for a better matchup.
Certainly will, and I think you're completely right. This game is going to provide a lot of things that may end up being beneficial for the Bruins that they can look at as things that they can improve on going into the playoffs, so they have a more situated team and they kind of get some of those kinks worked out so that they don't see these problems again. And they say you have to lose to figure out how you can do better, and I think this game, this impressive showing from Grandview, has definitely opened up some holes for the Bruins that they can look at and analyze in their own play and how they can improve and kind of fix some of those things before the playoffs.
Yeah, and Reagan, there definitely were opportunities for the Bruins to win that game, and I think that they're going to all be reflecting on this, and I think that they should keep their heads high as they head into playoffs. And, you know, Reagan, this is a matchup that is just going to fuel their fire. So it's been an exciting night tonight here in the Stetler Bowl. A little chilly. I think lots of people are ready to probably go home and get under a blanket. But thank you for joining us here on CCSN. We'll be back with you during the playoffs, either up in the booth or down on the field with live coverage and social media tweeting. So we look forward to joining you for the playoffs this year, and make sure to stay tuned for the bracket as it comes out. But thanks for joining us. For Reagan Kanabe and the whole Cherry Creek Sports Network crew, I'm William McDavid signing off from the Stetler Bowl. Thanks for joining us this regular season right here on CCSN.